Steve Moran here with Senior Housing Forum, and we're at the Senior Living Innovation Forum in Santa Barbara, 2019. And I am talking to my good friend Mel Gamzon, who has been in senior living since senior living was invented almost. Well, that's not really true, right? But you've been in it for how long?
40 years.
And I just would love to have you talk a little bit about sort of the progression and how you see it and where you've played a role in it.
Thank you, Steve. It's been a great ride. I started in the industry in '79, and the industry was, pretty much at its infancy, and have ridden this from infancy to adolescence, and now we're in full-blown maturity. So it has been exciting. Ups and downs in the cycles, different products, different operating models. But the good news is all the work that everyone has done over so many years is now coming to fruition. And we have the baby boom generation coming in, and the industry needs to adapt. It's either going to adapt or it's going to be extinct.
So what I really like about what you just said is it's a very positive outlook on the industry.
Absolutely.
And every time I come to a conference like this, I see there's some people who are positive, some who are not. There's certainly a lot of sense right now that there's some brokenness that gets fixed, that needs to be fixed. And I've been a little surprised for as positive as this. I've heard sort of more discouragement that we don't have the capability to fix it, but it doesn't sound like you share that.
We have the capability to fix it, but the narrative needs to change. The focus needs to be adapted to the new market that's coming in that is gigantic. And so what we've had and has evolved over 40 years essentially has been, say it any way you want, it's been a care model. It's been levels of care. Senior care. It's all care, not all, but substantially care models. We will care for you. This new generation of seniors is not going to be that interested in that. A need-based product, no. This is going to be a discretionary, demand-based product. And what we're going to need to do is change the discussion from care to wellness, fitness, preventative health maintenance. Rather than growing younger, we're going to need to show residents how they can actually grow. Did I say younger? I meant older. My apology. Right. Growing older, show them actually how they can grow younger. And through building design, through operations, and I'm on the M&A side of the business for many, many years.
So I'm going to stop you for just a second. Most people will know what M&A means, but just for clarification, it means mergers and acquisitions.
Correct.
So,
yeah. So I've been in that part of the industry for many years. The real value add going forward here is going to have some form of wellness component. So I'm a firm believer in the concept. It's early on. Some of us go back to, let's call it 1988, when Paul Clausen came in with a new concept, and it was called assisted living. No one knew what it was. Well, we know what's happened with assisted living and memory care and continuing care. This is the new generation that we're talking about right here this afternoon. And so it is going to be health and wellness as compared to health care. And that's going to be the driver of the industry. And what we need to do is we need to get investors on board, and we need to get our operators absolutely on board. in the industry. Yeah.
So one of the things that there's a lot of talk about right now, and of course Nick just came out with this middle market study that indicates there's this big unmet need. Do you have any thoughts about how we crack this affordability problem?
You know, we've been trying that for decades, and it hasn't been easy. And candidly, the only way to crack it is through some forms of subsidizing on either the land acquisition, on financing. Operations, it's going to be challenging, although innovation and new technologies are going to hopefully help in reducing cost of operations and increasing the value proposition to consumers. But affordability is going to be challenging. How are we going to do it, let's say, from land acquisition? You know what? There is a huge amount of land that's not taxable. It's in the not-for-profit, in the government sector, universities, land that is not being taxed. And these are prime pieces of real estate on sites, on properties that are owned by institutions that once again are a value add in and of themselves. So we have to reduce the cost of land acquisition. We need to integrate our model in with mixed use models, okay, and reduce the cost there. And the development process, construction, not going to be easier. Not going to be easy. We can look at modular construction, Steve, but it's all been affordability, bottom line, has just been challenging.
So I have two questions for you
Sure.
that I want to finish up with.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you both of them, and then
Thank
you
you.
can figure out how you want to answer them, or maybe
Sure.
you'll hate both of them, right? So the first question is there anything that you see happening in the industry right now where you go, that is so cool? And so that's the first question. And is there anything in the industry on the flip side where you look at that and you say, I don't understand why this is happening?
So on the cool side, yes, we'll go back to that subject of wellness again. We have new models that are just coming out of the ground, or they're in fill-up, and those are going to be terrific examples of what to start building on. The mixed use and intergenerational housing, there are examples all over the country that are commencing on that. Now, what should not be built? The same old, the old school, inside the box. The value proposition on the real estate side, the investment side, which is where we spend a lot of our time, is going to be very challenging for plain vanilla in this industry. What we're going to have to do as an industry is think and perform outside the box with inside the box metrics that we must satisfy. Yeah.
Mel, thank you so much. You are one of the icons of the industry. I have so much admiration for, your endurance and how you've made the industry better. I really appreciate that. Appreciate your sharing your wisdom with our audience here. And, so you got another 40 years to go in the industry, right?
Hopefully another 10 good ones.
Good. Perfect. Thanks so much.
Bye. Thank you.